Tutti a terra! Questa è una rapina!
A guy who's robbing a bank who doesn't want any money is a very strange person. You know, it's instantly weird.
Chiedigli cosa vuole.
Mi chiede che cosa vuole.
Lo voglio qui, entro 10 minuti, altrimenti ti sparo in faccia. Diglielo.
La vuole qui entro 10 minuti o mi sparerà in faccia.
Era sorpreso?
I knew nothing about it. Absolutely nothing about it except the expression. In fact, I think my brain I thought Patty Hearst was in Stockholm or something. I didn't know why.
Volete i soldi?
$1 milione americani e una Mustang 302 come quella di Steve McQueen in Bullet.
Robert did a lot of research. I started finding that I became less and less interested in trying to do a docudrama or a documentary or a reenactment.
L'hai mai fatto prima?
Ti sembro un idiota?
Because I'm so different from the real guy and the situation makes so many jumps that I think a lot of movies often get in trouble where they say X and Y, Z happened. In the movie, you go, why is that happening? They go, well, it did happen. That doesn't mean it's right for the movie. You know, you have to try to figure out why this story is relevant. As you asked me, what's interesting about it to audiences today? You can read the New Yorker article. You can find out everything exactly what the facts are. We need to make a piece of art about it. You know, and we got to talk about what it means in good storytelling terms. It's a hard movie to navigate the tone. You know, whenever you're dealing with a black comedy or something, you know, it's a strange tone. But its absurdity is generated out of real life. I mean, that's where we're trying to generate it, out of like how strange and absurd regular life is. If the situations get heightened enough, humanity becomes really eccentric.
Ok, devo uccidere qualcuno.
Cosa?
Some aspect of the story that was fascinating to me is that these guys were ex-cellmates and what were their feelings for each other. It's a pretty radical thing to do, to try to bust a friend out from prison. And what's that relationship? Then, you know, what's the relationship with Bianca? All the relationships are very blurry. Robert and I, the great thing about having worked together recently is that I just know the way his brain works, and he knows the way that mine works, and he trusts me to play, and I trust him to keep us from getting lost. Feverish pitch to a bank robbery, and for a movie that's entirely set in one bank robbery. I mean, I love the real-time aspect of it. That always works for me. I always keep imagining, you know, I base my whole costume and everything on the idea that his favorite movie was Easy Rider, you know, and he wants to look like Dennis Hopper and dress like Peter Fonda and talk like Jack Nicholson. It's a neat opportunity to try to understand this kind of aspect of human psychology that I think when people see it, it sounds crazy, you know, well, she fell for the captor. But when you actually play it out, it just makes a tremendous amount of sense, you know, in how strange we all are. And I think that as, you know, the dialogue about sexuality changes through the decades and everything, the conversation becomes more and more interesting about Stockholm Syndrome and aspects of power and sexuality and how they relate and how we all work each other and play each other and what we do to survive.